Oh my goodness, welcome back. Welcome back to yet another episode of Shooters, quite potentially the best podcast that you've never heard of.
I wouldn't wait forever. Just shoot your shot. We don't need no more, no extras. We all we got.
Goodness gracious, man. Sick of these aliens. I'll tell you what, I'm getting sick of these aliens. And all this evidence that there's aliens. You know, so much evidence of aliens, getting sick of it. Recently watched a documentary on Netflix. Bob Lazar, alien spacecrafts, Area 51, and aliens and flying saucers plus aliens equals aliens on different galaxies equals UFOs and spacecrafts. I think that's the official title of the Netflix documentary. You should go check it out. But yeah, basically Bob Lazar is this gentleman who claims to have worked in Area 51 or a subsection of Area 51, rather known as S4. He was hired to work there. He was a scientist and was hired to try and figure out just one small section of a UFO. That's his story. Came out with the story in the 80s. Now that people have been researching his story for 30 years, it's become more believable because a lot of the things he has said have turned out to be true. And it's like, whoa, how would he have known? That's crazy. So there are a lot of actually interesting facts and crazy parts to the story. Unfortunately for me, there wasn't enough evidence relating directly to the crafts or directly to the fact that the stuff that the government has and hides came from elsewhere. My thing is, I watched his interview on Joe Rogan. For frick's sake, Joe Rogan. In the interview, Joe says that just being a skeptic is like the lazy way of thinking. So I can watch this hour or 2 hour long interview with Bob Lazar and Joe Rogan. I can watch the entire hour and a half long documentary. And basically, you're saying I can't have an opinion based on those two viewings? You're saying, okay, being a skeptic after those two viewings is the lazy way of thinking? Or, first of all, Joe, this has been researched for 30 years, and you still have a little bit of evidence. You don't have enough evidence. So first of all, yes, I can be a skeptic. And the point you're missing is that not everyone is a freaking full-fledged researcher, dude. These people have been researching Bob Lazar's story for 30 years. 30 years. You want me to start diving into research? I work in sports. Bob Lazar's a scientist, and he can't even prove stuff. Now, you want me, just in order to avoid a lazy way of thinking, you want me to start researching for 30 years, try to figure out something that he hasn't, just so I can prove this story? No, guess what? I say it's untrue. Get over it, boss. You can call this the lazy way of thinking, but until I see the Mela frickin' UFO, I'm not going to believe that there is one. Sorry. And you can call that lazy? Sure. Maybe it's lazy. Who cares? Oh, and also, if the government has UFOs that they're hiding from us, also, who cares? I get that you're a scientist and you're mad that they're hiding all these crazy, unheard of technologies and whatever from the rest of the science world. I don't care. We can believe this thing that's unproven or not. And there's some evidence, there's a bunch of stuff that happened that support Bob Lazar's story, and 30 years later, it's still believable. Good for him, man. I hope it is true. I hope he's telling the truth. All I'm saying is, I'm not going to believe it till I see the freaking UFO flying around, dude. And that would be sick, man. Like I said, I hope he's telling the truth. That would be awesome. I hope there's aliens. I hope an alien comes down to my house right now, hops on the podcast with me. That would be sick. That would be so sick, bruh. You'd be like, whoa, you are a human. What do humans do? I'd be like, oh, dude, you're an alien, bruh. What do humans do? We have this thing called Twitter, and we get on it, and we argue. What do humans do? We argue on Twitter. What do you argue about? We argue about what games are called. This is what Twitter looks like. It's called cornhole. No, it's called bags. No, it's called cornhole. Dude, that's what Twitter looks like. Hey, if you catch yourself arguing about what a game's called, you suck. Newsflash, suck. And you gots to go. If you catch yourself doing this, no, it's called bags. Bounce. You gots to go, because guess what? You suck. Hey, just go play it. It's called cornhole. No, it's called bags. Hey, you guys ever just play it? I mean, how about just go play it? Play the game. Once a year when you have barbecues. Once a year on the 4th of July is when you play this game. So don't argue about what it's called. Just go play it when you have barbecues. It's not important. It's not an important game, folks. Cornhole, also known regionally as bags, sack toss, beanbag, or bago. Oh, so it's the game with endless names. And guess what? Who cares? Huh? You know what types of games don't have 15 names? Games that matter. Games that you play more than just on the 4th of July. You don't got to debate what they're called. You know why? Because they matter. Have fun playing sack toss on the 4th of July when you have barbecues and arguing every day the rest of the year on Twitter about what it's called. What do humans do? Oh, you want to know what humans do? Why argue on Twitter? What about you aliens? Oh, us aliens, we bring down our UFOs, hide them in the earth, just in a specific area where only the U.S. government will find, and then discover and then hide in Area 51. And only a select few scientists, such as Bob Lazar, will be able to find our crafts and work on our crafts. And they will never be able to provide actual proof or evidence. Just not quite enough evidence for me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that's lazy. My bad. Number one, don't care enough to research for 30 years. Number two, you didn't show me the flying saucer in the documentary. So still hard for me to believe it. I don't believe anything anyone ever says to me ever. And just stopping it there, I realize that could be problematic. I realize it could be a problem. Just being a skeptic and cutting it off. Just not believing anything ever, but also not researching or looking into it for myself to try to figure out if things are true. Yeah, more times than not, that's going to be a problem. But when it comes to UFOs, I think it's reasonable to say, number one, if the government has technology they're hiding from us, who cares? I don't. But also, just show me the UFO before you make me believe it. Don't require me to believe it before I can even see it. Chill out. Just let me be me, let me chill, and let me see the UFO before I know they're real. You know? Whatever this episode is, cool. That's shooters, baby. Can be whatever it fraggin' wants. Let's bring them dips. If you ever want to be on the show, shoot your shot now, because little announcement, I'm leaving. So, yeah, prepare yourself for a new studio. I'm bouncing. But, yeah, shoot your shot, hit the DMs. Let's get you on the show. And heck yeah, boys. Thanks for watching. Smash that like, and peace.